Yeah. Big Baby JTV back with the show reviews, man. A lot of people have been liking when I do these show reviews, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm just gonna do it a bit more, right? So I was on Netflix, right? Just scrolling around, bored as hell, right? And since I like Tinder Swindler, I might even review Tinder Swindler, but I fell on this show. It's been out for a few weeks called Bad Vegan. Okay. It's a docu-series. I love documentaries. That's my ish. About, a vegan restaurant owner called Sarma Melgalesis. Whatever you pronounce it, I don't know. I'm going to put the details here about how she was illegally transferring money to her husband's, bank account, personal account, right? And basically how that how that happened, right? So she went from being this vegan, trendy, cool vegan, all of a sudden to, within a few years dating this dude, basically on some steal from my own employees type of ish, right? Now, there's a lot of levels we can go into this. Now, let's go with the surface level. The surface level is conning people out of money is disgusting. Okay? It's disgusting. And, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to do something, if you own a restaurant, pay your people. Let's start with that. If you own any business, pay your people first. Even if it comes out of your own pocket, you gotta pay your workers, bruh. Simple. Okay? Nobody works for free. Let's start with that. Right? But the way that this docu-series was documented, it was 4 episodes, right? 90% of it blames the scamming on her husband. Now, her husband is a proven con man, right? He even lied about his real name, his real identity, right? But this dude is on some Tinder Swindler-ish, where this dude is meeting desperate women, right? And taking their money. That's what he does. He charms desperate women and takes their money, right? And Sarma, I ain't gonna spoil the show, but I'm just gonna tell you about, the details basically. But it's not even really spoilers, because you can literally Google everything. I don't know. It's something that happened like in 2019, like when all of this unfolded. They just finally released it in 2022. But anyways, this Sarma girl was a hip, trendy person that was respected, but guess what? Like almost all restaurant people, she was in debt. Okay? Open up a restaurant ain't some money making machine type thing. No, most restaurants failed. Most restaurants, period, they failed. Why? Making money. Making money in a restaurant business is very, very hard. Okay? And for her, she specialized in the vegan restaurant business, right, which is very niche, right? And this was in New York, which in itself is probably pretty good, but man, you probably make hella money doing this in California, some super liberal type area, probably even Ottawa, my city, right? But basically, long story short, she was popular, she was doing well, but she wasn't getting enough money. And this dude, her husband, who presented himself as Shane Fox, was actually a con man called Anthony Stragus. Whatever, I'm bad at pronouncing names. But anyways, long story short, bruh pretended to be a whole vegan. He wasn't. Dude was fat as hell, and he was not a vegan. But he saw her desperation. He saw the finesse. He saw the lick. He saw an opportunity to take her money. Right? And she saw an opportunity with a guy who was quote unquote rich, who would quote unquote save her business, right? Come to find out, Brody wasn't rich. He was a gambler, addicted to gambling, right? And addicted to finessing women out of their money. That's what he was doing. And that's low key some pimp game that's been happening since the beginning of time, really. Since the beginning of time, women have liked men and were willing to pay for men, willing to get their whole life savings to pay men. So what happened near the end? Near the end, Sarma and especially Anthony You know what I mean? They had taken about $6 million worth of money, not only from investors, not only from small donors, but even from the mother of Sarma, right? Money from New York state taxes, the IRS. They owed about $6 million. Obviously, they went to jail, right? The man definitely did more time because it's society, man. You know how that goes. But at the end of the day, she even spent time in jail, right? And this goes to show us that if you look the part, people are willing to spend money. People are willing to invest if you look the part, right? This is why image matters a lot, man. You have to work on your image. You have to be good at your image, because Sarma was a broke female, bruh. Broke as hell, literally in tons of debt, but she still got investments. Why? Because I'm not gonna lie, she looked pretty good. She looked pretty good. And she presented herself an image of being somebody who is trustworthy, somebody who is holistic, somebody who is woke or aware or smart. All this ish, all these, let me be real, lies, all this cap. So what it was is that she was a capper and she met a dude who was a bigger capper, a bigger con man, right? And guess who won? None of them, because they both ended up in jail, right? Now that's more of the moral type of standing about this, right? But if we just look at the series itself, I think that this series is not like the Tinder Swindler, not as good, right? But I'd probably give it a 6.9, 7.1 out of 10, probably 3.5 stars, right? Because they had a really important part near the end of the show, and I'm going to talk about it. Spoiler alert. Hey, if you haven't seen it, you ain't seen it. I don't think you're going to see it. But basically at the end, they say that Sarma wasn't really into this Anthony guy. She was trying to use him for his money, right? And this was something that happened like with the last 10 minutes left in the show, right? And I think that was a stupid thing to put in the show, because it changes the entire dynamics of the show. Because you've seen about 3 hours of a documentary, no, probably around 4, where they make this Anthony guy look like the biggest con man finesser of all time. And in reality, at the very end, they say that Sarma was trying to finesse the finesser. No, bitch. They're both finessers. They're both finessers. She just found a bigger shark. They're both sharks. She just found a bigger shark, a more savage shark, who made her do things. Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to say he made her do it. She wanted to. She was a willing participant in frauding and taking $6 million worth of money for personal trips, for gambling, for whatever they wanted, for clothes, for all type of ish. Yes, they were a pair in this. And this goes to show how our society, right, likes to frame men in certain ways, in certain media platforms, especially famous media platforms, has a way of shaping men as always the victim. Was Anthony a scumbag, scam artist, piece of trash person? Absolutely. That's abundantly clear. You feel me? But we have to acknowledge that Sarma is a type of individual who presented one thing to the public, and not only just the public, but her employees, her friends, her family, when in reality, she was a person who was scamming along with her husband. See, it's not a coincidence that when you see a train coming on your train tracks, you're going to drive away with your car. You're going to run away if you're right next on the train tracks, right? But Sarma willingly got involved. Sarma stood there in front of the train tracks, ready to get hit by the train, and smiled. And then got surprised when she got hit. Bro, no, man. You're a willing participant. You're not a victim. You're a victimizer. You're not a victim. And this goes to show you that our society is going like this, where people want to be the victims all the time. No, bitch, you wasn't a victim. You participated in this. I bet you this Anthony guy has tried to finesse and take money out of so many women and failed. Absolutely he has. He has, because that's what a con man does. They try to go on to their next con. But why did he stop? Because he found the perfect lick. He found the perfect finesse. And Sarma was willing to be part of the finesse. She wanted it. And deep down in her soul, she wants to be back with this man. Yes, because what this man did is he gave her what she wanted to hear. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm doing this video and I want pizza, but I'm trying to be smart about my health, right? But let me tell you something. If I was to order a pizza, who do I blame? Do I blame my biology? No, I blame myself, because I am doing what I want and I'm succumbing to a lower nature of what I don't want to do. She knew what she was doing. And sadly, people are going to go on her side and try to pretend like she didn't. No, baby girl, you wanted to finesse. You wanted to take that money away. You wanted to go to Paris. You wanted to go to Vegas. You wanted to gamble. You were not the victim. You're a victimizer. Let me know what y'all think of the show, man. As I said, I'm giving it like a high 6, low 7. 6.8, maybe a 7.3. What do y'all think of the show, man? Big Baby J. We're reviewing shows on this channel now. Big Baby J TV. Road to 1K. Like, comment, sub. I'm out, bruh.